Welcome back to Hidden Power. This is a Pokemon podcast. Today is a very special episode. We've got information about new Pokemon for the second DLC. We've got a ton of new information about Blueberry Academy.
In Unova.
Yes, in Unova. I'm so excited. My name is Dusty Go-Goat. We're also with the Lumios Post.
Hello.
And Soul Silver Art.
What's up?
Guys, take me down the rabbit hole, right? Because the Teal Mask has been out for like a week. I was having a good time playing it, and I got a little angry that all of this information came out because it didn't line up with our recording schedule, so I'm ready to talk about this.
Basically, you have two things going on here. Of course, our good buddy old pal, the Riddler Coup, known Pokemon leaker for several generations now.
He changed his profile picture.
For several
also.
games, I guess. Yeah, he did change his profile picture. I don't know if that's a hint.
We're in a new era right now.
Yeah, we are.
The Blueberry era.
But so you have him leaking some stuff, but then you also have data mine of the Scarlet and Violet update 3.01, I think is what it is, or 2.01, I don't know, whatever it is. The new update, they're data mining that, and they're able to find a lot of Indigo Disc information in it. Shout out to Matt Yukana, by the way, because he is like the GOAT in bringing in all this stuff. So, make sure you check them out. This wouldn't be possible without them. Anubis is also great as well. Check her out as well. But yeah, I don't even know where to begin. I guess we should begin with the biggest thing, and that is a new Pokemon was straight up found in the data for these games. So that's, pretty freaking cool.
Yes.
It's that
I love this so much.
Yeah, I thought of you, Dusty, actually, because I was like, it's a new Cherubi.
It's so cute. I mean, so from what I understand, this was just a little plushie that was on one of the stands in, it was just like a little model of a little plushie or a mystery something that was placed outside of a stand in Indigo, in the Teal Mask, right?
Mm-hmm. But at Peachy's, the little shop in Mosswood Town.
Bro, when I had known about this, right, and when I saw that they called it Peachy's, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that they like hinted at it so hard here. If you talk to the person standing next to the shop, they'll say something about Peachy's too. And then also if you go to Kitakami Hall, there's someone there that says something about the signboard, like, oh, who's the trainer on the signboard?
Right.
Yeah, it's that's like helping the Loyal 3. And so like this is huge because this has way more implications than just being like a new Pokemon. It's actually like a Momotaro Pokemon. It is Momotaro. So it's like the Loyal 3's like trio master basically.
Yeah, and of course if you're unfamiliar with the story of Momotaro, the reason that a peach is important here is because in that story Momotaro was born from a peach. Don't ask me how that works.
Did you ever guess it before, Lumi? I don't know if you saw my tweet a long time ago about like what's important in that screenshot.
No. I never said anything. I did briefly think the plush, like I was like, hey, that's like a piece of the toxic chain.
Someone had to,
but I never speculated, and I never even said that because I was just like, that doesn't mean anything though. It's just a piece of the toxic chain. I never speculated that was a new Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, it is small. Like, when you think about it, like, it should be a legendary, right? So, it is like
it will be if it's tied to the Loyal 3.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's so small. I feel like this is not the full interpretation, but I'm not sure. Because why wouldn't it be? I mean, unless it has, like, a separate, like, battle form thing, but I don't know. It's just, I think it's adorable if it stays, like, what you see on the screen right now. If it flips around, I'm not as happy, and also if it becomes a pig, because I looked at it and I'm like,
oh,
this looks like
stop.
a pig.
Don't say
Doesn't
that.
look like a pig.
It's a look-alike Lechonk.
I can see it.
And it also lines up because they're greedy, bro. They're greedy, and it could be a greedy little pig. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like
so they could like make it into a pig peach hybrid because it is Momotaro no matter what. But
dude, and you have the whole thing about like pigs being like toxic, right?
Yes,
because they
all
eat
that
garbage.
Stuff. Mm-hmm.
So I'm like trying to find out if there's any relevance of a pig in Momotaro's story, and the first thing that came up is that Super Y explored the world of Momotaro.
Who? What?
You're not familiar with Super Y? Dusty, you have nieces. Come on.
No. What is that?
It's a like little PBS kids show. It's horrible. It's the worst.
They watch what are they watching right now? A lot of Sesame Street.
Okay.
Nice.
I mean, Sesame Street is solid.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this Peach thing.
This Peach thing. What do you guys think about it anyway? I mean, it's huge.
It is a thing. I'll wait to see its final design. I will say it is also seen in one of the shots when the old man is explaining the story of what happened between Ogerpon and the Loyal Three. You can see it at the top right, but they placed it perfectly because it almost looks like Ogerpon's just holding up a fist like that. Yeah. But it's actually his fist. It's not his fist. It's this Pokemon.
The amount of people that said that it's Okidogi's fist, I was just like, bro, it's not. Look at it. Like, because if you look
in fairness,
side by side,
I did think it when I first saw it. I never argued it, though, because the second someone said it's a new Pokemon, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta think. This was found in the game data, okay? That little guy was right next to all the other things. And if you put them side by side, it's the exact same drawing, okay? It's not like, if you were to put it on top of it, it would fit perfectly. So it is not Okidogi's hand. It is, in fact, this. And at the part where, like, the part of the story that happens there, it says that it's a group of Pokemon that attacks Ogerpon, not just, like, the Loyal Three. The implications are just that this thing is the one that sent them. It's the one that gave them the toxic chains to make them become stronger, smarter, and more beautiful. Like, just like Momotaro gave the dumplings to the animals. Dumplings. He gave them dumplings to, like, basically bribe them into, like,
this thing kind of looks like a dumpling.
Yeah, a little bit, which is interesting, right?
So at what point do you think, let's say that's true, right? This thing granted the Loyal Three powers, right? When does that happen? Is that something that happened originally? And then,
well, so that has
my big question is, like, what caused them to awaken from the statue? That's the thing that I never really understood.
Well, that's okay. Well, that kind of gets into some more data mine stuff we have.
Okay.
But to touch on the first thing you said, if you look at the sign that this is all depicted on, like in Kitakami.
Yeah.
On that sign, Okidogi, Pheasantipity, and Monkey Dory do not have the toxic chains. Like, you can tell by their silhouette because you would be able to see Okidogi's, like, leash, if you will.
I'm trying to find a picture of it.
I know Ku had posted one a while back. If you want to scroll through his page.
I mean, I have two, but yeah, you'd have to scroll.
Yeah, I think it's probably sooner on Ku's.
Either way, like,
he posts a lot, which is good.
Yeah. Either way, that's, like, meant to be him. Like, the trainer is meant to be that guy.
Well, and the trainer does have the toxic chain. It's just the Loyal Three that don't.
Yes. I pointed out, like, months ago. I'm like, look at the chain. It looks like the dumplings that this trainer has. Like, but basically, to answer your question, Dusty, it did it the first time that they fought. That's when it gave them the toxic chain, because it was they were just, like, weak little Pokemon. But when they were revived, this is like an easy to miss thing. When they were revived, I haven't beat the story yet in the Teal Mask, but when they're revived, there's, like, this pink, like, aura that comes out of the grave. I don't know if you've seen the screenshot of it, but it's like a blast of pink. I think that it's still involved in the Teal Mask storyline. You just can't see it because I also think it's a ghost type. So I think that it revived them the second time.
Yeah. I think I saw this really cool theory by Mordecai where they showcased maybe that these three Pokemon, these basic Pokemon, were affected, right? And they wished for these certain traits and then were granted it, which it's a fun little theory. I think they're
it's
entirely
accurate,
new Pokemon. But
it's even though it's just like a speculation thing, it's totally possible that it could be those exact Pokemon, like derpy.
If you're listening, the theory was like Poochyena turns into Okidogi, and then you got Panpour turning into the monkey, and then
Tranquil.
Yeah. Pidov's middle stage evolution.
I actually got it right. I just was mute. Darn.
But
I wouldn't say Poochyena, just if we're gonna go on this theory more. I would be like Lily Pup or something, Little Pup, whatever it's called. I'd be like something weaker. Something weaker.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I think Poochyena is pretty weak.
Yeah, but it looks fierce. You know what I'm saying? I think
fierce,
that he was like a really weak thing,
but he's weak, but he desires strength.
I think another bit of relevance to what Soul's talking about with the poison ghost typing is in the very first poster for the teal mask. If you look at the lanterns, there's different types there, and all of those types became relevant. There's the poison type, and fighting psychic fairy, which were the loyal 3. There's rock type, grass type, fire type, and water type, which became Ogerpon in its forms. And then there is a ghost type, and there's nothing with the ghost type, unless you count Sinistcha, which we're not, because it's not important to the plot.
Yeah.
No. So, and like Diplin's type is not up there either. So it wouldn't, like, there's no dragon type. So why would Sinistcha be up there and not Diplin?
Right.
It's to me, it's definitely poison ghost because it makes sense. So the grass would be grass, fire, water, rock for Ogerpon, and then the poison. You can see there's only one poison, but it does poison, fighting, psychic, fairy, and then ghost. So it would all be under the same like category to me. I think it's poison ghost, which also ties into some other stuff.
By the way, poison ghost would be our first poison ghost typing since Gengar.
Yeah, since Gengar. I was gonna be like, Gengar exists.
It would be the first one since the first one, our first ever ghost type.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
The biggest question though is why isn't this in Kitakami Dex? Instead, it's coming in the Indigo disc. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, that's true.
Oh, I think I know why. Okay, so first off, well, no, I'll touch on that in a minute. I think if we're running with how this thing is granting wishes, Okidogi has the desire for, muscles, and it grants it. Pheasantipity, beauty, Monkey Dory, wisdom. Kieran wants to become stronger.
Yes.
I think this thing has attached itself to Kieran, and that's also why Kieran is kind of becoming a bit of a turd.
Yeah.
I have seen the coolest images. I'm going to have to go offline and try to find these. I think
too, like, this represents more than just granting wishes, but also like the toxic versions of those things. Like Okidogi is the kind of guy who, goes to the gym and is a jerk about the fact that he's jacked. Pheasantipity is the kind that looks down on others because it's so beautiful. Monkey Dory is the kind who thinks he's better than everyone because he's smarter than everyone, I think it's supposed to be, like, toxic not only in type, but also in, like, trait.
Yeah. Yes. Shout out Pen Paladin. We got to have you on the show sometime. This incredible theory where I guess I don't even know. I don't know if he's the one making the art or not, but it's depicting this form of Kieran that is fused with this mystery Pokemon, basically fueling Kieran's desires to become stronger, which is what you're talking about, Zach. But this artwork basically is it's like a zombified Kieran. It reminds me of Lusamine, from Gen 7, where she fuses with Nihilego.
Yeah.
Well,
go for it.
No, you go ahead, because I think I'm about to steer this to something else.
Okay, I mean, I didn't have much to say other than it's awesome, but I don't know if it'll be anything like that. Maybe, but I could see it being that Pokemon without the body, even like the human body.
Yeah,
I could see it being something like this,
having those tentacles, having the chains, using the chains.
What if it's like a jellyfish Pokemon or something like that? Right. Something like that.
I did notice. So, the chains on the Loyal 3, they seemed very in their art, in their idol forms. They look kind of just short, but what I've noticed in the animation is they'll extend even longer as they interact with the chains. Totally. Okidogi will spin it around like it's spinning a rope of some sort. So, the imagination is that these things really can extend as far as they need to. And I think you're right, Sol. I think these chains will just kind of be up. They'll be like tentacles, right?
Yeah.
And they can extend as far as they need to, which is what I think that makes total sense. I love the idea of a poison type that's actually trying to infect other people. I also kept thinking about
a virus.
Yeah, like a virus. I also kept thinking about Pokerus. Like, is this going to be like the Pokerus Pokemon? Because Pokerus also makes Pokemon stronger, right? It's a virus.
But Pokerus also was removed this gen.
Are you kidding me?
You didn't know that?
No.
Pokerus doesn't exist in Scarlet and Violet.
Are you kidding me, dude? That's insane.
They got rid of it.
Is there a theory here where like this is the Pokerus Pokemon? Is it going to be called Pokerus?
That would be kind of neat.
No, but
I imagine its name will probably, like Pheasantipity, Okidogi, Monkey Dory are like all like kind of phrases like, Hunky Dory, Okidoki. I imagine it would probably be similar to that then.
Yeah, it's going to be like the kids be like when they laugh, they go, "I'm dead." And it'll be like
it's going to be named I'm Dead.
It's going to be called I'm Dead, but it's like killing other people.
Yeah. But that's kind of where we get into the data mine a little bit. With Dusty, you asked, what does this have to do with their resurrection? In the data for Indigo Disc, so this is where we're getting into some. I mean, we've already shown a new Pokemon, but here's where we kind of get into some story spoilers.
This whole thing's gonna be spoilers.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying story. I like to differentiate it because but there is found in the data zombies
I don't even know where to begin.
Will be playing a role in Indigo Disc.
Ooh.
As in the undead, which is interesting. But also, I mean, if you think about it, that's what Pheasantipity, Okidogi, and Monkey Dory are. They're zombies. They were dead, and they got resurrected.
As better versions of themselves.
Well, I think they were like that before. I don't think anything changed in the resurrection process, but...
Yeah, he just brought them back to life. But they are technically zombies because they just came back to life.
Yep.
It's insane. I don't know what that means. I'm almost like, is it a code name? Because it's just like, I mean, I wouldn't put it past Pokemon to have zombies in their game. But I just, what is at the center of this crazy mystery? And I don't understand why we can't figure it out or why there's no big leaks on it. Like, I don't really want leaks on it, but I'm just saying, I haven't heard anything. So I'm just like, I almost feel like something, it's probably a little less than what people think. That's all I'm speculating.
Yeah. And I do think, like you said, it's coding. I don't think it'll be like someone with rotting flesh trying to eat your brain who died in a virus. We're not getting Pokemon The Walking Dead. I think just zombie is like code name for like just maybe someone gets resurrected. I mean, we also did see that in the data for trainers that you would encounter. There were, before Teal Mask for the record, there was Billy, Onair, both of which became characters in the Teal Mask, and also Heath. Heath should be long dead. This also kind of ties into the Crystal Pool, because the Crystal Pool is said to be a place where you can see people who have passed away.
Interesting.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I feel, I mean, we talked about it last week about potentially Heath being stuck in time and being like found out, right? Or think about Arvin's stories that he doesn't have a good relationship with his parents, right? Emotionally or like figuratively, they're dead to him, right? And then they could come back.
Well, literally, they are dead to him.
Yeah. Are they dead? Are they actually dead?
Sada and Turo died. That's why the AI was active.
Yeah, that's what we were told. I still am
could just
like,
be lost to time.
Is there any way that one of them is, because it's either version, right? I think there's a possibility that one of them is either one's dead and the other one went lost in time, or they're both lost in time, or there's only one per each version.
Yeah. His like actual like in Scarlet, Turo would still be alive, I'd imagine. He just walked out.
That's the common.
Sada.
Yeah, that's
but
the
Sada is dead.
Yes, that's what they tell us. I'm just like, is it possible that we were told that she was dead and then she eventually went into the time machine somewhere? I just think that Pokemon might bring it back around. Maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be so cool to meet Heath, right?
I think Heath will be part of the story. Maybe. I don't know. He's not in any of the data, really. He's not in the data. There's story spoilers kind of here. Because, and Briar is like basically Heath's avatar, let's say. Not really, but you know what I mean? It's like, that's meant
She's the descendant.
That's meant to like be the Heath of this DLC, basically.
Yes, and that's the point of bringing him back.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny too, because this just shows, man, how heavily tied all this stuff is to kind of Legends Arceus, right? Like Legends Arceus, one of the big selling points of it was these ancestors of past characters, and now you're having like actual like people who are dealing with stuff their ancestors did, and like Briar is driven by what her ancestor did. Arvin has trauma by
really
what
cool.
his parents did.
Yeah.
Although they're going into some crazy stuff in general, like we could have talked about that on our Kitakami review stuff, but
yeah,
they have some deep like meanings and emotional stories going on, So
yeah. I mean, even in Teal Mask, there's a lot of ties to ancestry with in Kieran and Carmine's family. Like it was the true story of what happened with Ogerpon has been passed down through their family because
true.
Yeah, and so it is interesting just how like family lineage is so evident in Legends Arceus as like kind of a background thing. Like it's not really important to the story, but then it's coming full force here, and it just goes to show Game Freak likes to hint.
So
there's so much.
My thought process right now is like trying to think of characters that we've seen before that might be returning, that seem like they're decrepit, people that have been damaged in some way. Ghetsis comes to mind when I think of Unova, right? Ghetsis, you see his character progression, and you see Ghetsis hiding behind his like robes, right? What if he's dead? What if he's an AI of some sort? I don't know.
I mean,
we are going to be in Unova,
would be wild.
Right?
Yeah.
There's Unova like, ties, so I mean,
yeah. And then here's another
possible.
one. What about the man that's been alive for 3,000 years? What about AZ? He's kind of a zombie of some sort.
He probably didn't die, really.
He didn't die.
He never died.
This whole zombie thing, I do want to say, like when you were talking about it, Lumi, if they're actually zombies, I would think that they'd be like down in Area Zero somewhere, so not at the Blueberry Academy, and I can see it being like if Heath would be coming back, it'd be like in that capacity, like maybe he's been like brought back and he's kind of like mindless or something.
Yeah.
By whatever the antagonist is of this entire crazy Gen 9 saga.
Dude, this is wild. Can we touch on that for a second?
It's insane.
We're seeing zombies in a Pokemon game.
Like I still don't believe it.
It really might just be a code name, right? Because if
that's how I feel.
They have to know we're gonna see some of this. Like zombie really could just mean time travel.
Here's the thing: when you look at you have it up, which is perfect. This is not just like one zombie. This is
zombie
entries
man.
for
zombie
text.
Old.
Entries for text that you'll see during battles.
Yeah.
So
we're going to be like interacting with these people.
So I have to beat a zombie to death.
I think it's Kieran. Is Kieran the zombie?
I don't know about that.
Is Kieran the one?
No, Kieran's the champion. So I don't think that.
That's a spoiler for me. Kieran is the champion.
It's so obvious.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty obvious, Dusty.
It's not a spoiler. It's obvious.
And they showed it in the trailer.
It's not confirmed, if anyone's wondering. Like, there's no leaks on it. It's just so obvious that's basically what it is.
The trailer shows like a champion character, and he has the same clothes that Kieran wears.
Okay.
I will be very surprised if it's not Kieran.
I love that. Right at the end of the game, he pulls his hair back. I think that's the coolest thing, and you don't get to see what it looks like. Oh,
yeah.
Oh man, his transformation's gonna be wild.
Back to the zombies, quick. I just think that. These are, I don't know if you'll actually battle them, but they are mentioned in battle text. So, it could be just one old zombie man Heath out there, and somebody's mentioning these zombies that are running around Area Zero.
That would be cool.
I am surprised Heath wouldn't be mentioned by name here. Like, you see some of them are mentioned by name, like Kieran, Nimona. I'm surprised Heath is not just listed as Heath. And
I don't know.
His coding would be zombie old.
You'd have to talk to Matt.
A code name, right?
Yeah, you'd have to talk to Matt about it, though, because I think that these are translated. I don't think that this is exactly what you get in the text, or maybe, I don't know. It depends, because if it's an English version, then maybe it is.
Yeah.
Just, like, exactly what it says. But, again, if there are, like, talk about zombies, I don't think that they'll say the actual word zombies. It'll just be, like, this mindless person.
Is the word zombies copyrighted? Because, like, I watched Walking Dead until Negan, because that's where it got horrible. But,
it's not.
And I noticed that they never call them zombies. They call them walkers. You know, they don't call them. So is zombies, like,
I think
they use that?
That's just what they called them in the comic books, and like just to differentiate like it from being like your classic zombie, like walks slow and
It's like in Game of Thrones where they call them the White Walkers, right? It's
different. It can't be too copyrighted because like Marvel zombies is a thing. So
you know what's
what do they
funny
call
about
them
Game
in the
of
Walking?
Thrones?
Or in
that they actually call them walkers in the book, which is the
they
same
do.
Thing as, yeah, so it's like
they must have changed it.
They had to change it.
They must have changed it because of Walking Dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just to differentiate it.
What will Pokemon call these?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, what if these are just like the thing is, dude, we've seen zombies. Maybe this is a whole episode about zombies and Pokemon. But we've seen
good for Halloween.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Well, I was also gonna say like another Pokemon that we've seen as a zombie is kind of the new Blood Moon Ursaluna. Like, I don't think zombie means come back to life. I feel like zombie is just is a form, an extension of the human life, right? Past the point where it should be alive, right?
Yeah, I do think though with actual resurrection being seen in Teal Mask, I am leaning more towards something is coming back. Like this, I think this will be like something's come back to life. I don't know if. But again, that's where we go back to, like, is it just code and, like, by zombie, it's like Pheasantipity, Okidogi, and Munkidori, where they came back to life, but they don't look zombified? Or are we going to see, like, actual, like, flesh rotting?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get into a bigger thing here, and it's just, like, I don't understand what the villain or who the villain of this entire Scarlet and Violet is still, to this day. I don't get it.
It's gotta be Briar.
I don't know. Is it this pink
I think it's
peach Pokemon? It doesn't seem like it's Terapagos. It doesn't seem like it's anybody, and I'm just like, I don't even know if there will be one. But then at the same time, I'm just like, there has to be something that they keep dancing around this mystery, like this person that talked to Heath, or is something that influenced him to do these other things. And I don't know. It's just there's some weird stuff going on, and I don't understand still to this day. This ties in though to what Koo posted. Koo was going crazy with some riddles, and he said that his 7 plus 8 plus 1 was not. It hasn't been solved yet. Like, it hasn't been said. So everyone thought that plus 1 was a mythical. Maybe it still is. I have like 5 options written down. I have like a huge tweet that I'm planning. It's just taking me so long to actually break down. There's like a whole bunch of options that it could be, but in my mind, I'm thinking, especially with one of these leaks, like, what if it's just like, I don't know, a boss, like, and it's not registered as a Pokemon, like a
yeah,
boss.
That's cool, and we have seen that quite a bit, dude. I keep thinking Terapagos is gonna be sentient, like it's gonna be like
probably
it can speak like Mewtwo.
I'm thinking
telepathically.
Like this is my thought. My number one theory on that whole that extra 1 Pokemon thing is it's like another version of Terapagos that's just an evil version of Terapagos that almost like
the Shadow Giratina from
almost like
Shining Pearl.
Majin Buu or something. You know what I mean?
No,
like
this is it, guys.
Boos, like one's good and one's bad.
Yeah.
The Peach Pokemon, the toxic Peach Pokemon is gonna put a chain on Terapagos.
I mean,
bro, that would be sick.
It's possible. I just with the Peach guy, I feel like there's so much room for it to be like really big in the story, but at the same time, it's like it was very much part of the Loyal 3 story. You know what I mean? And it feels like it was contained in that. But I don't know why they would put it in Indigo Disc if it doesn't have a point there either.
Yeah, no, it's clearly all gonna tie together, but. Yeah, there's so much to unpack from this.
No.
My initial thought on the +1 was honestly that, Koos pointed out that, we know now that Dipplin is getting an evolution in Indigo Disc.
Yeah,
Who pointed out that it's not in the decks for Indigo Disc.
Which is crazy too. I didn't even it was just like, what? Of course, it's not in the decks. What in the world's happening here?
Right, like the Applin line is not there, yeah. So my brain kind of thought there were 7 new Pokemon in the Kitakami Dex. There are 8 new Pokemon in the Blueberry Academy Dex, and then the +1 was the Diplin evolution. Because it's not in a Dex, but
there's literally so much to unpack. I don't know if it was that. I don't think it's that, but I don't know. Maybe. The thing is then that would mean that there's still another Pokemon that we don't know of. Right now, we know of every Pokemon in the Indigo disc. That's all. It's
a Galar evolution, probably.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This is something people keep missing. In Matt's data, there's only 8 new Pokemon.
That's true.
There's only
who's to
8
say
new
they
ones.
can't hide those Pokemon?
They could. They could, but
it's weird that they would show 8 and just take the effort to hide 1.
Well, yeah, because it's not in the base game. They
scrubbed this one Pokemon. So this is my other thought with that. So I have, like I said, I have 5 options for what Ku's +1 Pokemon is, and it could be that it's like a Walking Wake and Iron Leaves scenario where it gets dropped like after the Indigo disc comes out, but then it's like, is it even relevant to the story that much? But I don't know, maybe it was the one causing everything and then they just drop it later, like typical Game Freak fashion. Or maybe it is a mythical, but it still is that same scenario where it was the mythical behind everything and you didn't know and now you see it. There's other options for what this could be. But it's weird. It's complicated, man. Because it's like, I agree with you about the Diplin thing. Because how does that work? Like, he said it's like the Blood Moon Ursaluna too. So,
but it has to be an evolution.
It is an evolution, but like how Blood Moon Ursaluna is Ursaluna's in the Dex. It's in the Dex.
But that doesn't even make sense.
Blood Moon is.
That doesn't
there's no Teddy Ursa or Ursaring.
But how could it be like Blood Moon Ursaluna? That doesn't make any sense.
So that does make sense actually though, because here's the thing, on that image of all the Pokemon, it doesn't show any new Pokemon. So you don't see the Peach one, you don't see the Diplin evolution. So the Diplin evolution will probably be in the Dex, okay? But its previous Pokemon that it evolved from are not in the Dex, just like Ursaring and Teddy Ursa are not in the Dex of Kitakami. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. So then the +1 is still really confusing, but
that leads to another interesting question too, and that is that if this is the Blueberry Academy Dex, why are Walking Wake and Iron Leaves there?
Yeah, I think that they'll just be. They have Dex entries. I'm pretty sure that there was information on them that was leaked a while back. Maybe they weren't Dex entries, but some kind of information, and so I think that they'll be catchable, just like the other paradoxes will. And
but I would have thought in Area 0. This seems to imply they are in the Blueberry Academy Dex.
Yeah, I feel like I would say the Indigo
the
disc
Unova Dex.
No, I would say the Indigo disc Dex. You know what I mean?
That's lame. They should instead add that to the Paldea Dex in the same way that like Crown Tundra added Galarian Slowking to the Isle.
That's just not how it functions, though. Like
I know, but they did it once before. They need to do it again.
But if it's in Unova, isn't that where it should be?
Yeah, it is. It is really.
It's an Area 0
shenanigans.
That's true. Yeah. No, you're right. The paradox should go to Paldea. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But all the other Pokemon.
Yeah, the other ones, sure.
Truthfully, the National Dex has never made sense. Like the full National Dex should just be why is Mr. Mime not with whatever, right? You get the evolution, you get the pre-evolution. It's a big mess.
It is confusing. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have other thoughts on this, but I was going to move on to something else.
Before we move on, we should probably roll an ad thing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's a great idea.
Oh, you
roll it.
Great minds think alike.
Roll it. If you're enjoying this episode, please consider supporting Hidden Power on Patreon or YouTube channel members. Right now, we have 4 tiers, and the lowest membership starts at just $5 a month. Supporters get access to our secret Discord server and help control the direction of the podcast. Supporters also get access to our archive of bonus episodes.
Okay, so our Discord honestly is popping. We have other creators in there too, which is kind of fun. It ain't just the 3 of us. We're discussing leaks when they drop. We talk about news. We'll be talking about how Soul Silver Art has, just garbage takes.
It's much
fun. It's a place for us to connect.
I'm in there every day. Also, we have revamped our merch store. So proud of every product that is in this store now. We have stickers, t-shirts, mugs, ball caps, right? The dad caps, these ball caps are embroidered. Look at this. It's literally an embroidered.
So clean.
You cannot get anything more high quality than that.
I just got news. Do y'all hear that? Bulbasaur says that he even has his own merch.
I'll talk for him. It's beautiful. Very cool designs. You guys should
Very
check it out.
Japanese style.
Even the front of the shirt has a unique logo.
I'm getting one for sure.
If you're invested in this show, invest in the show. Thank you so much for watching, and now back to the video. Welcome back from the break.
I was just gonna keep tying it further because there was other leaks from Matt. I mean, there were so many. Like I don't even care about going into the little details about you can change your room to these specific things.
Who cares? We already know that.
there are a little bit bigger ones, like which characters are returning. I don't want to get into that just yet, but
if it's not worth a breakdown, I think it's still worth mentioning for people who are hearing this for the first time. So we can talk about it later.
Yeah, I just mentioned. But like, so the bigger ones are on the same vein of there's other, like what's the +1 form or Pokemon that Ku was talking about. There were 3 like Titan battles data mined.
Yeah.
Okay. And this ties into, there was also 3 battle states data mined. Okay, so they had specific names, and we basically got some confirmation from the Chinese Riddler, who is a different entity than Ku, but he's been accurate
is this
forever.
It right here?
Yes. That is that's like, go up a little bit.
Oh wait, yeah, no, that's not it.
It's tied to that, but
okay.
The first part to this is that there's 3 battle states, just like Ogerpon's battle states, which are his Terra Max get like more, her Terra Max get more crazier, right? And they get all that special stuff, which is like a second ability. It's really complicated, but basically, with the Chinese Riddler's help, who I trust, he said that these are for Koraidon and Miraidon and Terapagos. So they should be getting some kind of battle states that are like Ogerpon's mask.
That's cool.
So just in battle, I don't know if it's a second ability or if it's an item that you hold or both.
Mm-hmm.
What would that
could be an item, because that's the case with Ogerpon.
Yeah,
guys.
An item that you hold.
What is the overall theme when it comes to like terrestrialization, or I guess the special forms, the special terraforms that Ogerpon has, right? I guess it's all tied to the mask. So is there any info in this data mine to suggest an item that these Pokemon would be holding? Would it just be a new form, the 19th type for your ride Pokemon, maybe?
There's nothing suggesting one way or the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
All I know is this is going to be like heavy terrestrial themes in this. This is like the end, the culmination of everything.
Okay.
You know, like I mean, Paradox Pokemon are going to be in it, but I think they're just like what is it? A result of Terrastal, not like any special thing other than that. Anyway, to go back to these forms, it's crazy that they're going to get something. I kind of don't want them to, but whatever. They already have like 6 forms. And now they're going to get even more strong. And like we talked about competitive before in a different episode, and I was just like, this is like, you're not even going to see them in competitive because they're legendary, so it's not even that big of a deal.
You will. They'll be a restricted format eventually.
Yeah. It's just, it is what it is. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Just to finish my point and let you guys go. Like, there's also 3 Titan battles, right? So 2 of them are basically Terapagos, and there's this weird thing with Terapagos going on because we know of its normal form, we know of its Terra form, and then now there's this battle state, and then in this Titan battle, it says you battle the Terra form, all right, the Terra form, and then an unknown form of Terapagos you battle. So maybe it's the Terra state one. Basically, Terapagos has a 3rd form that we don't know about.
So and just to clarify, right, I'm forgetting this. The terrestrial form of Terrapagos is what we see on the box cover.
It's the big turtle.
It's like it's the actual cute turtle.
Lil Turtle is normal form. The Terapagos we were first introduced to is the Terrestrial form.
Okay.
And then there's an unknown form.
All right, so that's the 3rd form. That's so cool.
And so here you can see right on the screen that
It's
you
the
see
world
that
turtle.
This is Matt's speculation, though. I will say it's just that their numbers go right after each other, right? So it has to be the same Pokemon no matter what. It's 01 and 02, and then the third one is another Pokemon. We don't know what it is because it's just a random number there. I guess it's the next one.
He's assuming it's Dokutaro, which is the poison chain Pokemon we talked about earlier, the Peach. Because
he's assuming that's what it is.
Yeah, he's assuming it because in the data there's something called Dokutaro, and Taro comes from Momotaro, and Doku means poison.
Right.
Yeah.
But I suggest to you that this could be Ku's +1 Pokemon. I don't know if it's actually Dokutaro. It could be something completely different. It's after, basically, if those are Terapagos, then it comes after Terapagos. So
we battled the Paradise Protection Protocol again, but like in a full form.
Yeah. The sad thing, really, though, I hate when Game Freak does this. This is like one of the biggest pet peeves of mine. It's just like, let us use this Pokemon. I don't want to have another
G-Max Eternatus.
Yeah, I don't want an Eternamax, man. I want this to be a Pokemon, not to just be a battle.
A boss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro. I still think it would have been super cool to get that Lucamine form, but like without Lucamine.
Yeah,
of Nihilego.
That should be a Pokemon.
It's a cool Pokemon.
Like give Nihilego a signature Z move where it unlocks it like they did Ultra Necron.
Or let me be Lucamine. Like
yeah,
possess me. Awesome. I'm right here.
That'd be awesome. Sorry, that was a lot of information, but it's a lot to like think about, and there's still like this mystery, right? That's the mystery. What is that one battle? What are these zombies? Like, where is an antagonist in this whole story?
These zombies? That is the question.
All right, so now just like, I mean, there's 1,000 ways this could go down, but like
100%.
Imagine you're
how many freaking forms does Terapagos have?
Yeah,
700.
Well, what we see all the time with Pokemon villains is they like steal the power of Pokemon, right? They make them suffer in order to use them as weapons. So let's say whoever the villain is grabs a hold of Terapagos, sacrifices Terapagos. It's super sad, but then like Dokutaro
sacrifices it.
No, resurrects Terapagos, and there's like an evil form of it, right? So even though it gets its life back, it's now poison type. Maybe it's evil, right? And then it's like there's that moral gray that like a lot of people are struggling with in the Teal Mask with the Kiki and Carmine, right?
Mm-hmm. I see it like this. I see it like that's a great theory as well. Obviously, like you said, it can go any way, and I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, there's a million ways to do it. I'm just trying to visualize something for the listeners.
For me, I see it as like there was always like two versions of Terapagos. It's like its evil side, if you will. Like
Dark Link.
Like exactly, but it's still the same Pokemon.
That makes me think of Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, where you catch Giratina and turn back Cave, but there's that Shadow Giratina you can battle and Ramada's
Park. Dude, I forgot about that.
That makes a lot of sense. That's kind of how I see it. Like, it could be completely wrong. I can just see it like that's the one that influenced Heath or like set up the protection protocol to protect the Paradise, all that stuff, while the good, benevolent Terapagos is just like by your side the whole game, like the little guy, he's just like hanging out. And then there's this other like version of it like that comes out of it somehow or something. That's my theory right now.
I mean, that's kind of cool too, because there's a lot of themes of light, and then there's darkness, which is the absence of light, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like that a lot. That would be kind of neat to have a dark side of Terapagos, since Terapagos is so focused on light.
Yeah, if I get it right, I'll scream. But
will you do it on camera for the podcast?
No, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Do we have any more information about the 19th Terra type?
It seems to be getting its own version of Terra Blast.
Okay.
I will say this about it, Dusty, since you've been thinking that, I actually thought about you when I made the tweet, but that Terapagos like could have this type, like it's its type. It basically that that can't be it.
I appreciate you thinking of me, but that was actually Zach's idea originally.
Oh, nice. I
am forgotten.
I don't think that it can be.
Made everyone angry with it.
Yeah, Dusty then said every pro legendary should have their own type, and everyone told Dusty about why that is a terrible idea.
I think it's a
and
cool
then Dusty
idea.
tagged me, so there are people telling me, "Why would you say that?"
Perfect. Yeah, according to that information, it can't be a Pokemon's type, basically, like its base type. It can't be Terrapagos has the 19th type. If it terastallizes, it can have it, but it's not an actual type, so it can't do that.
I'm looking for your tweet, but I can't find your tweet.
Can say. What are you looking for?
Wait. So I was looking for your tweet, so actually repeat that for me, because I did not hear what you just said. I should just be listening to you. You're right here.
Yeah, I have it.
Say it again.
It's all in my mind, too.
Say it one more time for me.
Just that it can't be the type. It can't be a type of Terrapagos. It can't be a base type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can only be that in a terrestrial form. Or not in the terrestrial form either. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be its terrestrial.
But wouldn't that be what?
Who knows?
I think it has to be when it terastallizes. Okay, that's all. It can't be like this is.
It cannot just
normal.
be that. Yeah.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be every other Pokemon?
Well, we already know that's true for every other Pokemon. Yeah.
So how would that make it any different? That's not really like Terrapagos' type.
It wouldn't.
All I'm saying is it can't be like Terrapagos' dragon and 19th type. That's not how it works.
I think logistically also, like if and there obviously are thinking about moving this Pokemon up into future generations.
Yes.
Like they can't give it a unique type if that type's not going to exist in the future. So, that's what I'll say about that.
100%. That's the main reason there. There's other things if you want to go into it. Those are like the big things that bother me. Those are like all the big things. I mean, like obviously, what in the world are like Koraidon and Miraidon's like forms gonna look like?
Dude, that's really cool to me to think about.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm okay. Like, what direction are you thinking that would go into?
I have no idea.
My first thing was like, let's make Koraidon future variant, all right? And then I'm like, well, that's probably too stupid. So then it's like, let's make it even more draconic. But then I'm like, that's kind of silly. Like, that's not really what terastallization really is. So then, like,
my thought would be just off the top of my head, since they're making a big focus on their ability to fly, and that being like a latent power of theirs that maybe they'll unlock someday, it says. Maybe that's what it is it's just them like flying, and they probably will get some more features, because you do have to remember, like, the Ogerpon one, right? The Ogerpon one is not that different from Ogerpon, right? Just the mask gets bigger and gets a little more features to it.
Yeah.
So I imagine Koraidon and Miraidon would be the same way. So I could see Koraidon and Miraidon flying like in it, like, and looking more glorious, I guess.
Like,
I don't know really what it'll be like, because that's just their flying thing for like flying across the whole Blueberry Academy or whatever.
Right, but I can see them tying it all together and saying that is their latent power.
Koraidon's name is literally, its Paradox name is Winged King. So wing, right? I'm looking at the head crest of it. Maybe that's the thing that they emphasize, right?
I mean, it already does have the wings though when it like uses moves.
When it glides, yeah.
Sure. But like if there's one aspect of the Pokemon's anatomy to highlight, if it's not going to be a new item, like what would it be? It'd probably be its wings, right? That's the thought process. If you can go off of the translation at all, it's really weird for Koraidon. Oh, and I'll mention this. The reason that it's really definitely them is your ride Koraidon and Miraidon are both locked to quirky nature. At least Koraidon is, okay? They're both locked to it. Oh,
yeah.
What? What do you mean?
I know it was crazy when I found out.
Like when you catch them, when you're given them or whatever, their nature will always be quirky. Like,
what?
You can't soft reset for adamant. You're gonna have to give it a naturement.
People are like abiding by that in competitive.
Well, you get.
Well, no, you can change it via the nature
that's true. Yeah. Okay.
But it is going to be. It's been done that way in the past too. Like the Lapras in X and Y is locked to a certain nature. I'm pretty sure.
What the heck? I've never heard of this.
But they've done it with Pokemon before. But
so what is the significance of that?
So the thing is it's translated like battle state name is like something around the lines of quirky laser. That's Koraidon's. Okay. So laser. I'm like, I don't know. The whole time I was like, I don't think this is Koraidon and Miraidon. But then the Chinese Riddler said something, and I was like, oh yeah. I mean, if he says it,
Miraidon's is like super electric laser cannon or something like that.
Yeah, it actually ties in because it translates to like railgun, something like that, and that's what back a few months ago when we were looking at Miraidon's like forms and stuff, it always like mentioned a railgun, so it's like a clear hint to Miraidon. Everyone is thinking that it could be an Archaludon battle state, which
I remember. I thought that first too, but if Koraidon's getting one, obviously Miraidon's getting one.
Well, Miraidon's the more obvious one, actually. It's Koraidon's that's a little bit out there, like a stretch. But the thing is, it's the quirky nature, and the quirky laser is like, I don't know. But what was I saying? Oh, for Archaludon, like it would make so much sense for that bridge form thing to be like, this is its battle state. In battle it can change into like the bridge, just like kind of like Aegislash could do that. But I always thought it was just for the move, right? Electro, whatever it is, cannon, drift, whatever. So I don't think that it is that in the end. And also then what would its counterpart be? I mean, it could be anything, but yeah. And then I just think about Terapagos too, like what is that battle state going to even look like, that whole extra form that it gets?
Because maybe it has to do with the ability Orichalcum Pulse, I think like a laser pulse.
Yeah, it's just translation anyway. Like it could be anything. It could be translated completely different by the official people. So
my big takeaway is I'm really like, I love the idea of this toxic Peach Pokemon, just like that being a whole stretch of a new gimmick where it's like, if it's in Unova, like I'm imagining the Weather Trio or the Kami Trio. I guess it's a quartet now. It's a quartet now. Like I'm imagining them with the chain. What does that look like, right? How do they change?
It's like that Necrozma thing, like when Necrozma fused
exactly.
with everyone was like making so much art of it, just like Necrozma's on top of everything.
On Groudon, on Kyogre. I don't know. That's really got my head spinning. I'm sure none of that's gonna happen, but
make a video on it, Dusty, as a follow up to your little Slowbro video.
Yeah. The one
anything's possible right now, so go for it. We don't know anything about it really.
So what we also have here, and this is not as consequential, but I think it's really, really cool. Where is it? Right here. I saw it. You're going to be able to trade Pokemon, it looks like, with all of these characters from Paldea, which I think is actually really cool. This is something that I think in-game trades, honestly, dude, in-game trades are like a lot of fun. Going back, you can get like a random Meowth and Hoenn. I don't know why I remember that. I think they're a lot of fun. So, to be able to trade with trainers that you play through the game with, right? All of a sudden, their OT is always going to be from that character. I think you can get like Jasmine's. Can you get her? You can get like a Magnemite maybe from her in Heart Gold Soul Silver.
Something like that. You can get one of Brock's Pokemon too. I think it's a Rhyhorn.
Yeah, I think that's so cool, and I definitely don't.
You can get In's Pokemon. Zorua.
Yeah. So it looks like you can get all the gym leaders. You can get the Paldean Elite Four, the BB Elite Four. You can trade with Carmen, Kieran, and Shieno, and that's a question mark. I don't know who that is.
It's Cyrano.
I think people think it's
Oh, okay.
It is. It's confirmed. Like that's how it is in Japanese. Like literally that name.
Okay.
So.
I don't know why. I think this is like a really cool feature because like I'm gonna want to collect all of these, and these are gonna feel like a lower tier of like an event Pokemon, right? And who's to say one of these aren't shiny? Also, who's to say you can't get Carmen's Leavanny, right? That'd be sick.
I do wonder like how it will work because will you take their Pokemon? I think it's like a copy or something, or like you know how Perrin gives you the Growlithe,
Sure.
that's like literally the same Growlithe, but
Yeah.
it's like, oh, he
It's
had a brother,
right?
Yeah, I think that's what has
Which,
to be.
by the way, I love that Perrin does that, and she's like, and then like she literally tells you, Growlithe like to be in pairs, and I just separated him from his pair. Bye.
But she does promise that she'll return, which is
oh yeah,
cool.
Whoop de frickin' do.
I gotta say, I did not really.
Be in it.
I did not care about Perrin at all. The hype was like feverish. Like it was kind of scary to be on.
She was the new waifu. Same thing happened when they revealed Sonya, when they revealed Nessa B.
And I didn't understand the hype until I got into the game and I realized, oh, she's barely wearing a shirt. This is why everyone loves her so much. Also, and here, and I've just explained to you that I'm like,
out and said it.
It's true. She literally she like doesn't have a shirt here or here. It's like they're just like. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into it. But
yes, I agree. I agree though. I realized the same thing when I met her. I'm like, just like
why are people
so much
like
body is showing?
Yeah.
And
I didn't
know
know
I saw like Pokesutami pointed out that on her jeans.
Yes.
On her back pocket, she's got the Diamond Clan symbol.
Oh, is that
but everyone was like, "Why were you looking at her butt?"
I did the same thing during my stream, and I made it very clear that I was not like it was like an analysis I was trying to perform. But that diamond on her back jean pocket.
We bet you were trying to analyze.
I'm being serious, and like to me, what I read that as is it looks like Kalos. Right, those are like a pair of expensive.
Yeah, it was the Diamond Clan.
Yeah,
it's a pair of expensive
Kalos.
French jeans. That's what that is.
Kalos.
Nah, it was the Diamond Clan logo, my guy.
Yeah. Diamond Clan makes sense. Diamond Clan.
Yeah, she even uses Leafeon.
I'll have to go and take a closer look. I'm just kidding.
Carmine.
Can we publish this episode?
I think we can. Yeah, I think we can.
Oh yeah, and on the note of Perrin, she is also confirmed to return an Indigo disc via the data mine.
I'm more like, what is Perrin's side quest going to be? Because there's going to be something with her. Maybe it's not. Maybe
what
she's
is she going to be looking for?
I think it could just end up being something generic and boring, where it's like, oh, if you do the side quest, this is how you get the item to evolve Scyther into Kleavor.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe it has to do with this Momotaro Pokemon. You know, maybe there's like you have to do the same kind of thing with Ursaluna or with Diplin's evolution. You know what I mean? Like,
I hope, dude. Don't tell me I can't evolve my Diplin. Don't. That's cruel.
You have to get like a new one.
I agree so much. And also that would shiny lock it, and I am going to be so upset because I want my golden dragon, man. I want something cool.
That would be kind of cool, and this is along the what I'm about to say is along the same lines as why I think DLCs in new regions that have been unexplored in the Pokemon universe, why I think that's so cool. So I think it'd actually be really cool. It'd be a cool tease if they give us the Diplin evolution, but it's like the Blood Moon Ursaluna, where it's a Blood Moon or whatever, a legendary variant of a Pokemon that we haven't even seen before, right?
If it's like that, that would be cool.
And then we go, so like you can use Applin, you know it evolves, but there's no way to evolve it, right? They've already explained it to us. And then when we actually go to Unova, which is what we should probably segue the conversation into, I think, and then all of a sudden, that's when you get your Diplin evolution. That would be really cool.
I don't like that. I thought you were saying like
I do not want
anything for a special form of the Diplin evolution, in which case I was like, okay, sure. But no, if you make me want to catch a Diplin in Teal Mask and then Indigo Disc, and it's obvious that it evolves because like the EV light works on all this.
Exactly.
So now I'm like, oh, I get to take my Diplin into the Blueberry Academy and evolve it there, and you don't let me do that, then that is very not cool.
I don't think it's gonna be like that because it is an evolution, and you have to think that Ku, like put it in there as a Pokemon that's gonna be. It's a new Pokemon. It's not a form. Okay, so it can't really.
Yeah, but people are saying
it's
even
like
teased
it on the same thing he teased Archaludon on, which is a evolution to Duraludon will be able to obtain.
Okay, all right.
I do want to say though, I think, it is Unova, right? So I think that it will have more based Unova-based origins than just like, oh, it's a syrup apple. You know what I mean? Not just like Kitakami.
It'll be a big apple.
Kitakami. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's not just a Kitakami Pokemon in the end, right?
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but
it's not. It literally evolves because of what is it? A candied apple.
A syrupy apple.
A syrupy apple that has another bug in it.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if Duraludon evolves
Shout
into
out
the
Kenway.
freaking Manhattan Bridge, then this has got to be something related to America.
Hopefully,
it'll evolve into the Empire State Building.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think
no more buildings, please.
Are the redwood trees, right, in America? Do those exist?
Well, that's in California, ain't it?
Yeah, that's America. That's the United States.
Well, yeah, but it's not Unova.
But there's a desert in Unova. So what is that?
No, I get that, but that'd be lame. Don't do that. Don't do something from across the coast. I don't mind if you pull from like around New York.
But that's an American thing, though, right?
But Unova is just a piece of America, just like Alola is a piece of America.
All right,
Dusty, what's the nearest forest to you, like with some big trees?
It's the New Hampshire White. It's the White Mountain. It's the White Mountain National Forest.
There you go.
But there's like
there a nice big old tree there.
There's just maple trees.
There's
like
maple
trees.
There'll be a maple tree. That works well with the sticky syrup.
That is actually kind of cool.
Bro,
like that's sick.
Good. That's actually
maple
good.
tree. Ooh, I like that.
I like that a lot.
Look at maple.
I could see it.
I gotta browse my search history after looking up Perrin.
With Ku's hint, I almost don't think that it'll be like anything with an apple even. Like it just might be a tree or something with dragons.
An apple tree.
I love maple syrup.
Johnny Appleseed big up there, Dusty?
I don't know.
Didn't he operate around your parts?
Probably.
I actually don't know. I don't know where Johnny Appleseed was from originally.
Johnny Appleseed was the man. Can I just say that?
It's Ogerpon. I don't really know much about Johnny Appleseed. I don't really know.
Johnny Appleseed was the legend.
Yeah.
Dude, maple tree. Oh, dude, it could be a Japanese red maple tree.
It's going to be a mix, I think, of Japanese and U.S.
That would work then, like a Japanese maple.
Right?
Yeah.
So you've got the maple of, northeast United States, but you have the Japanese maple of Japan.
So, all right, let's start talking about Unova. It's been a while, and I'm getting like really excited again for Unova. Right. What is where are we at right now with hints, riddles, and anything pertaining to Unova? I mean, we know we're going back to
the last bit of information we got on it was honestly just depressing. So
yes, and what we kind of decided was like, really the only Unova we're going back to is Blueberry Academy. That's the sad reality?
We don't know. There's not much.
Definitely an Indigo disc. That's the case.
Yeah. We don't know.
You guys seem pretty disappointed.
I mean, I am. I was excited for you.
Reality. If you think about it, if Blueberry Academy is the Unova that we were going back to, then that's it. But we don't know. We don't know for sure. The
real Unova was the Blueberry Academy we made along the way.
Man, that would be pretty disappointing.
But yeah, we haven't heard much else about it. Like literally, other than what's her name, Briar.
It's
in Unova. Hi.
I have a wild theory. This is going up on Thursday, right?
Yes.
Not sure.
Okay. You still said not sure.
I don't know. I was just answering.
Thank you, Sol. I appreciate it. So then this video will have gone up yesterday, but I talked about this in a video I did on my channel that I have not yet completed, but it will be completed when we do this. So I noticed this is the wildest, stupidest thing I'm going to propose. But where we're getting all this depression from Unova from is that I had asked Ku, hey, something along the lines of what did you think about, or how excited are you for the Unova games next year? And he said, what Unova games? He said, what are you talking about? Basically saying that's not a thing. So we were talking about, what does this mean? Does that mean maybe there are no Unova games next year and that they are instead in 2025 and we're getting a break year? But then I noticed something really interesting in Scarlet and Violet. And this may be nothing, but it's interesting, I think.
Okay.
When you're at the Pokemon Center, there are these advertisements on the little thing.
And
I noticed
in mainland Paldea?
Yeah, mainland Paldea.
Yeah,
The Pokemon Center in Kitakami is kind of crap. But
right.
it's a little pathetic. But this advertisement, I saw that there was one for an airliner, and it's really pretty. It's got a little airplane, and then I noticed, oh, it has a yellow Dragonite on it.
Yeah.
And so, if you notice, when you fly to and from Kitakami and Paldea, you'll get this little animation of an airplane flying, and a Dragonite will fly up next to it and then go by. Well, there are 3 other Pokemon that are on that airplane, poster. So my brain went, what if one of those is used for when we fly to and from Blueberry Academy? One of those is used from when we fly to and from a 3rd DLC. One of those is used when we fly to and from a 4th DLC. Yeah. It's wild, it's probably nothing, and it's super stupid, but I want to throw it out there, and the off chance it happens, that way I can say I said it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I guess I haven't really processed how disappointing it would be if the Gen 5 remakes are not actually happening. Because that's
for the record, that's the reason I bring that up too, is because I said the Unova games next year. This would be DLC, not games. So it was Ku saying, "What are you talking about?" Could be there is no Unova game next year.
Yeah. I don't know, but to me it wouldn't be disappointing. The only thing disappointing to me would be if we get nothing next year. That's what is disappointing to me. I need something. If we're gonna get DLC, that's cool. If we're gonna get a Johto game, that's amazing. I just need some kind of Pokemon mainline-ish game to be in existence,
I could see it being a situation, we touched on this, where it's it releases 2025, but it's January. In which case, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Even February.
I count Pokemon years are from February 27th to February 27th.
February. Yeah. Again, yes, you're so right. February to February.
I guess going back, the thought process started from a Johto remake, just out of wishful thinking, but no evidence. And then about 3-4 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, hope was inspired with. Actually, no. Before that, we were thinking about Kalos even, and then we went to Unova, right? Now we're like, oh, it's gonna be Unova. It's gonna be Unova.
But there was a brief stint with Johto.
Yeah, there was a little bit of stint, but that was really just wishful thinking. I
still firmly believe, like many others, that there's going to be some Johto in this generation.
I mean, I feel like we got
it's so obvious. It really all depends on when Gen 10 is coming. Yeah. We talked about it multiple times. If it's for the 30th anniversary, then we could have 2 games easily.
Yeah.
But if not, then I don't know. Maybe they might choose Johto over Unova, or they might swap them around. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do Johto in Gen 10. But it doesn't really add up with all the things that they've been putting down.
For sure.
So much Japanese stuff. But again, Kitakami was very Johto vibes too. So
it was.
That could have been the Johto.
Kitakami really got me. It really made me appreciate the Gen 9 engine. To see another region in that style was really cool. And I think that's why I'm enjoying it so much, right? I think personally in my life, I grew up in New Hampshire, right? The secondary culture is French Canadian. So I grew up taking French classes, right? And there's the French Canadian thing, and there's not a lot of Spanish speaking people, right? You go to Massachusetts, it's a different story. So personally, I feel like I don't have any emotional connection to Paldea outside of that, even though it's So I don't know. For me, Paldea was a lot of fun, but it was also overshadowed with a lot of buggy issues. But then when I see the engine in a region that feels a little bit more Pokemon to me, which is the Japanese inspired region, it just had me really appreciating the game that it is. And now I went back to Paldea and I played around and I was enjoying it a lot more. It's almost like how in Gen 5, where it was so jarring to see a Pokemon game that felt dark and edgy, and also unpolished. Even though I look back at it now thinking it is polished, Gen 5 did feel like very jarring at the time. The art style was a lot different from what we had gotten in Gen 4, and Gen 2, and Gen 1. But then it's like I've seen ROM hacks of like Sinnoh areas in the Gen 5 engine, and it's like, oh, this is so Pokemon. This is perfect. This is like a great engine to be creating a game in. Anyways.
Yeah, same when someone was like making like Sinnoh and the Gen 8 engine, like to kind of make up for the loss of was Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. That was the same way. Like it was like, wow, this engine looks a lot better when it's used like this.
Yeah, so my I guess the overall thing that I'm curious, and I want to hear from you guys, like do you think there actually is a possibility that we do get additional DLC? Because that was my first thought.
There's always a possibility.
To quote my boy Justin, I will never say never.
I know. I mean, I'd like it. I'm not against having more DLC next year, and that's it. Like, I'm cool with that. I know the community probably wouldn't be. Personally, I think that a lot of people would be like, more of this.
Yeah.
And we still haven't fixed it. You know what I mean? All that.
But like,
crap.
what else? If it's not going to be a remake, what else would they introduce? And I would just think it's another BDSP style game. Right. I mean, like, what? What could
you can always do a
what could
new
they be
story,
working on?
And I think this is perfect. I think this is the way to move forward. Especially like you have to think. So Pokemon is getting to a point now where if they want to remake Kanto, well, they have remade Kanto twice now.
Yeah.
If they tweaked some things.
4 times if you count the Johto.
But yeah. Well, I actually wouldn't because they did not remake. They put in the Kanto region. They did not remake the Kanto games, right? But like even Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, while there are some tweaks to it, the plot is overall the same. You're still going to deal with the ghost at Lavender Town's Pokemon Tower. You're still going to battle Team Rocket below the Celadon Game Corner and battle them in Silph. All those things. So I think the way to do these remakes going forward, especially on a region you've already done a remake for, like Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, do a new story set in those regions. If you don't even let me go to Sinnoh, and you don't even have to tie the plot to Dialga and Palkia. You can, these new Pokemon have appeared here, I mean, honestly, if they mixed and matched, it'd be cool. Like, the Sinnoh Pokemon deal with space-time. All of a sudden, these ultra wormholes have been opening up in the Sinnoh region, and now we're dealing with this Pokemon from Ultra Space that's brand new and is a legendary Pokemon. And so this Sinnoh game plot is about that.
So it's a story in a familiar region, but from the perspective and time and the time zone or the time period of a different Pokemon game that we're familiar with. That's really cool.
Yes. I think because I think that was one of the magical things about Legends. And now, in fairness, in Legends, they did change a lot about Sinnoh. It was definitely not really comparable to Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl or Diamond Pearl Platinum, like in terms of the way the region looked. Yeah. The story did still revolve around Dialga and Palkia, but it was so refreshing to get a different story revolving around those Pokemon instead of me knowing, because I played Diamond and Pearl, knowing, when I get to here, I need to make sure I heal my team because I know Cyrus is on the top floor and I'm going to battle him. So I think that's the way to do it going forward. I think it's a great way to keep us on our toes. That's the thing that's why the fan base keeps going back and pointing at Legends Arceus, is because Legends Arceus did that so well. They kept us on our toes, man. They had returning evolutions for the first time since, other than Sylveon, Gen 4. They had mix and match starters. And then that's not all. These starters now evolve into different forms of their evolutions.
Yeah, that's so cool.
All kinds of things that constantly just have my jaw dropping.
Even in this gen alone, like the fact that it starts with the regional fakes, right? That was a big mystery. Then they changed it again. The fact that we have Ursaluna, which is basically a legendary form of a Pokemon that already exists. That is such a cool idea that fans have played around with in the past. That's kind of like what with the whole Suicune. That's what the legendary beast theory is, right? It's like, what if the Evolutions, the original Evolutions, were granted powers and became legendary Pokemon? That's what Ursaluna is.
Yeah, now Ursaluna's not a legendary, the Blood Moon isn't. But I would say I do just like that they gave it a form that is not a regional form. It's not a convergent form. It's, it is, or lookalike, whatever you want to call them. It's not an evolution. It is just
its
like
own thing.
A circumstantial form.
Yeah, which to me I think is pretty legendary, right? It goes back to like when we were kids and we would play, we play our game.
It definitely feels like it, yeah.
Yeah. We would be like, "What is Lucario? Spiritomb? What's Spiritomb? Is that a legendary?"
Well, they should do that with. They should do that with more Pokemon. Like make them feel, make Pokemon feel more special. Like you said, Lucario, Spiritomb, Rotom. They all felt really special. Zoroark, yeah.
Even Snorlax. My niece thought Snorlax was a legendary, and I'm like,
I mean, there's static ones here too. Like there was a Snorlax in Kitakami that was just sitting there. So it is.
But see, that's different because it's not really given a quest. Like in Red and Blue, you have to go get the Pokéflute to wake this thing up, so you can try to catch it. There's a lot of there's hurdles you have to jump through.
Mm-hmm. I'm just not to change the subject, but I'm going back and looking at like any other of the leaks. I don't know if off the top of your head, Lumi, if you have anything else that you were thinking of.
I don't. I mean, there's small things that you could mention. Like, I mean, there's going to be new room decor. We knew that, but like they found like the different ones. Like there's a retro futuristic. There's a vending machine there. Room. So that's fun, I guess. Hopefully it's like the vending machine from Isle of Armor where it's like discount vitamins.
That'd be cool.
There are like 20 something new battle like songs or whatever, music.
Yeah, things. 23, yeah.
Yeah, which is crazy because I mean that's like a whole bunch of battles.
That's
end up doing.
Yeah.
I think that could be related to maybe legendaries if you think about it.
Yeah.
The legendaries are not going to be in the decks. I know there's probably going to be legendaries in this game. So
like Crown Tundra. The Hoenn starters and legendaries weren't in the Crown Tundra decks, other than a few legendaries. But they were, in the game.
I don't know if all of them will be here, but, I think that there will be a way to catch a legendary, so that could be that. Or it could be a battle facility kind of thing, which would be awesome. I'm really pulling for that one.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I mean, you have one for the Elite Four. Let's say there's one battle music for each of the 4 areas. You have one for the champion, one for Terapagos, one for Dokutaro, as we're calling it, one for
that's probably gonna
the villain. I honestly could see, I could see them giving the Paradoxes of the Beasts and Swords their own battle music as well.
It's true though; they wouldn't have like separate ones for each legendary either. It'd just be like a legendary.
Like Walking Wake, Raging Bolt, and whatever Enteia's would share one. There is also, I think it's 27 new TMs.
And
some of these are likely to be new moves, like we saw the Upper Hand and Psychic Noise.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the big thing is zombies.
Zombies are there's also in Pokemon.
There's also Mama. Like we have grandmother and grandfather.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. At first, I was very confused.
I know. I wanted to.
Who's Mama?
There's like a storyline.
You talking about Perrin again?
No, no, not Perrin. Not Perrin. There's like a storyline that involves a few characters. I'm just reading Matt's tweets, and one of the people in it is Mama, and then there's grandmother and grandfather.
It sounds like Momotaro.
Yeah. I think the grandparents,
grandmother and grandfather.
Yeah,
so
I think they're
just it's Mama referring to a parent.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's just a character in a quest. So I don't know. It's just a new character, or like our mom, maybe. You know what I mean? Like we've seen her before.
Imagine you battle your mom. That's actually sick. Like
I'm down as long as we're battling people. I'm good.
Her dialogue is, I put you in this world. I will take you out.
yeah. It's a classic like mom joke.
Right.
I'm only...
You beat her. She takes off her shoe and throws it at you.
Yeah. I raised you better than that.
Yeah.
The only like disappointment I have in all of these things, in all these leaks, and I want to preface all of this by saying that this is just what's in the data. Game Freak probably tried to scrub as much as they possibly could. Okay. So it's not like there could be stuff that they left out, like somehow they got it out. which this is like stuff that was left in. So it might not all be here. But one of the things that kind of makes me a little disappointed is that there's nobody from like no like random new characters or like from a different region that just you can battle or trade with or any of those other things. You know what I mean? Like let's say if someone were to come in, you could trade with them and you could get like a random Alolan Pokemon or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be cool.
Well, and like it's literally it's in the Unova region. How cool would it be if Charon is a teacher? If they revealed, Charon's actually now a teacher at the Blueberry Academy. Things like that. I mean, but
yeah, we'll see though. We'll see. There might still be a little. Easter
I hope
egg
there's
here
some
and
more
there.
surprises. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna start this whole thing and be like, Matt is doing exactly what I didn't want to happen. I respect the crap out of him and he's a great data miner, but I was like, I did not want this kind of a leak to come out of Indigo Disc, like especially this far, this like far away from it.
Yeah.
It's like this is a lot of stuff. But anyway, Dustin,
well, what's funny is he said it's not even that bad. Like he said it was so much worse for Sword and Shield's DLC.
True. He's right. It's true.
Like I do remember they were able to basically like draw the map of
I was fully expecting that the entire Indigo Disc was going to be leaked with the Teal Mask, because that's just how it is. It's like this is the game right now. It's all basically out. So.
Yeah, like I remember we had for Isle of Armor there was in code a white steed and black steed, and obviously that was Glastrier and Spectrier.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do we know who this is? The partner of Ogerpon from the story?
Yes, that's Jonathan.
That's a big mystery too. I just got to this part
Johnny
in
Appleseed?
Yeah,
yes, that's like... Johnny Appleseed.
It's Johnny. We just call him Johnny from now on. I just got to this part in the story, so I was like, oh, why is no one talking about this character that just like brings her there?
Because we don't know anything about
magically
him.
Disappears.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you assumed happened? I assumed he was killed by the Loyal Three.
Yeah.
You could assume that because they definitely kind of hinted at it, but
yeah.
I don't know. He just vanishes.
He could be a zombie.
Oh, he goes back. He could be zombie ban.
He could be Heath.
And they could do.
Imagine that the little Dokutaro thing has basically taken him like to taunt Ogre.
Yeah. Or actually,
why would they introduce this random person? Do you know what I'm saying?
His soul could be fueling. His soul could be fueling the Pokemon, right? You know how when they say like even Poltergeist, right? They say like Poltergeist exists because of the soul of whoever. Like this guy, actually, maybe that I don't know if that actually ties up with the timeline, but like, I think that could be cool.
Yeah,
he's got a braid like a chain.
We could definitely do more on him and all of Kami.
I hope there's more classes at Blueberry Academy, and there's like a history class.
There is.
And they tell you like, oh, is there?
Yeah, it's confirmed more classes.
Oh man, I hope there's a history class and they talk about like the Unova story in it. Like, well, here in the Unova region, there's these two dragons, and there was once a hero and a guy named
and they give us a
that would be so cool.
So
I don't know the extent, but they said it on the official trailers.
Cool.
They were like, oh, you're gonna take new classes or whatever. I don't know how much, but
where are we thinking Blueberry Academy is in proximity to Unova? If it's in Unova, we can imagine it might be based off of an island off the coast of New York City, right?
It's Martha's Vineyard. It's Martha's Vineyard. That's where it is. Literally, really? It's just like an island off of New England, probably.
Isn't it Ellis Island was the one used like for like that's where prisoners. Like immigrations would do. No, I think it was that's like when people were like trying to immigrate from like Europe, like during, because I remember having to read like a story about this girl who did that in school, and they had to go to this island for the immigration process. They had fled from Poland because World War II, and because it was a Jewish family, and she got lice or whatever, and that became a whole problem. Or no, it was ringworms or something. I don't know. But the point is, they had to stop at this island, and that was where they did examinations on the immigrants. So in a way, just because we're outsiders coming into Unova, maybe it's supposed to be whatever island that was.
Yeah, what the heck is
Ellis
that called?
Island. I thought it was Ellis Island.
Ellis.
It's probably it's gonna be one of those kind of things, you know, like they're gonna mention
the Statue of Liberty.
Unless it's that's Ellis Island, isn't it?
Dude, could Terrapagos be based on the Statue of Liberty? Because it literally is.
Oh yeah, so
if you look at its crown, it's the same color.
Before the Statue of Liberty, it was like the welcoming island for immigrants, and that's why they now put the Statue of Liberty there, is because it's supposed to be a symbol of the American dream or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll find out, I'm sure. Maybe it's just an artificial island, like just like Aether Foundation or whatever.
Yeah.
Just in the middle of nowhere.
Well, even Aether Foundation,
or
I think people like have found that it had like a lot of similarities to the current Pearl Harbor. Like there's like an artificial like museum there or something, and I think a lot of people like think it's based off that.
Yeah.
I wonder if we take. Well, yeah.
The last thing I'll mention is.
I know you got to leave soon.
Yeah, the last thing I'll mention is that. I mean, should we go into the crystal pool stuff? I just think that there's probably a connection to the crystal pool, and
sure,
maybe they'll explain more about it because it is on the logo of the DLC.
Yeah, who posted that? I'll pull it up right here.
I mean, I did, but
it'll be on Soul's page. Yeah.
Oh, no, I got it right here. Yeah.
I mean, it probably has big importance, but I feel like they're probably just gonna mention it. I mean, maybe it's like a huge thing. But
I can see us returning there. We're returning to Area Zero, so why not?
Yeah, it might be a important place. I mean, it definitely explains like this is where Terastal is coming from in Kitakami. So
yeah,
that's like a big thing. I mean, the other things on the logo is just like Oni Mountain and Blueberry Academy. So, and I think the last one is oh, dude, I wanted to talk about Terra types, but we can do it at a different time. Okay. Because the terraforms, like, basically, right now we know that Koraidon, Miraidon, Terrapagos, and Ogerpon are the ones that have terraforms so far. Like actual what the terraforms were. Or are, you know,
which I think they'll expand upon in whatever the Unova game is.
Maybe. I still love that theory. I'm also thinking like maybe there's still our last hope for terraforms is basically if the 19th type is not for every Pokemon, or that every specific Pokemon get like a special look with the 19th type. There's a lot to unpack like in a deep way. So like even Terrapagos's terrestrial state is one thing, and then there's also data that says that there's a new form of a Pokemon. Like the states are not listed as forms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what is this other form for Terrapagos that is not its terrestrial form? It's not its normal form. It's just a random new form. It's like I don't know what that is because that's not the Terra state either. So it's like 4 different things for Terrapagos. There's a lot going on. I'm just my brain was like going a million miles an hour.
Well, let's regroup next week and we'll do it again.
Yep.
We'll talk for another 2 hours.
We'll run it back.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to our mythical tier supporters. We've got Drogain and Jarrett. Really appreciate both of you. Honestly, we've actually had a ton of new subscribers.
You guys are great.
And channel members. Munchlax is one. Checo Martinez. Robert Dickens, Slow Vienna, Mike Kesh, Greg Machino is here as well. I think Ryan joined a little while ago. Michael Sanguine, Kyle Ritchie. There's some more people here. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you're new, subscribe. If you're not new, thanks for being here. We really appreciate all of you, and we'll see you very soon.
Bye.
Peace.
Zombies.
See you guys.
Zombies.